tell we're really professional.
Hey, that's fine. I like this kind of stuff.
That's fine. Yeah, it looks good.
Oh, good. Okay, so yes, so my question to you guys that I think people, teachers in Canada would find very interesting is the idea of moving a technophobe teacher to perhaps a technophile, or at least less of a technophobe. So what advice would you give a teacher who's just starting to investigate computer resources and programs that are out there that could lead them gently towards utilizing these new things for us?
Okay, Nicky, I think you should start.
I'll start. Well, being an ex-technophobe myself, I can speak with some experience and some authority, I think. I think the answer is to start slow and with simple tools. So, for example, if you're looking at Web 2.0 tools, these kind of new interactive tools available on the internet, I'd start with something simple like a blog. So a teacher might set up her or his own blog about his own life, perhaps family, adding photos and so on and so forth. And then once you're familiar with how to use your own blog, then you can take that idea into the classroom and perhaps set up a class blog. So I would say always start with the simplest things available and try them out for yourself, and then move on to taking them into class and take your time.
So you're saying that using it for personal use before taking it into your professional realm?
As far as possible. I think many teachers already use a lot of technology in their own lives anyway, and are perhaps unaware of the step that's just needed to take that into the classroom, where perhaps training would come in.
Okay.
Well, some of the areas we've had success in, certainly when I was teaching full-time, we did a lot of team teaching. So one teacher who's happy with the technology looks after the technology. I mean, making sure everything's plugged in and working, while the teacher gets on with teaching with the technology. So you've got this kind of dual role thing. And the other thing I think we've had quite a bit of success with is using the students. Because if they're under 30, probably they're going to be much more familiar than people, maybe the teachers over 30. And they're more familiar with the technology. So one of the ways of getting that working is to kind of devolve responsibility for the technology to the learners. Let them explain how it works, the functionality, and look after that, and reboot the computer when it breaks and things. And I mean, the idea is always to let the teacher get on with their teaching, So, but I think Nicky's point is really valid. You can't just go into class and say we're going to do blogs unless you've had a blog, figured out how it works and things like that. Training's kind of key, isn't it?
Well, that was my next question, actually. The resources, like if for someone who's absolutely, completely unaware of what resources there are out there, are there any websites or books or resources that people could go to just broaden their horizon to understand what is available?
I mean, I would certainly, of course, recommend our book, which is exactly that. But I would also say, more importantly, what's really difficult, I think, for a teacher is to be alone, to feel that you're the only teacher in the school who may be trying new things. So before going off on your own and buying a book, what I would try and do is pressurize the director of the school and get together a teacher development group that would look at learning to use technology, because training doesn't consist of only reading a book or only having an input session on blogs or whatever the tool is. It's got to then be applied to practice, and not just that, but the teacher needs to be supported. There needs to be some kind of mentoring system perhaps in place, be able to reflect on how the tool has worked, and then to have some kind of continual professional development built in. Otherwise, it's really not going to work. So I think an individual teacher, if I was in this situation, I would go to my director of studies and propose that there was some kind of training program in the ideal world, put in place. If not, then definitely buy our book.
I was thinking I should have gone first, because I'm just ending up as the one who nods and goes, I agree. There's online communities, the webheads, which I think you may have heard mentioned in
today. Yes.
Okay, I mean, they're absolutely fantastic, and you've got a ready-made supportive group, with a wide range of skills and experience, and they're one of the most newbie-friendly groups I've ever met. You can ask the most, what you might consider to be the most embarrassing question, like how does email work? And instead of laughing at you, someone's going to take the time to explain to you how that works. And they've got such a broad range of experience that, if you can't get the support that you want in your own institution, which is often the case, or the support you need, then online communities are the way to go. You know, the web is.
That's great. Well, thank you very much, and congratulations for winning the award for your book.
Thank you.
It's a fabulous book, and we'll definitely have your book on in our newsletter as well.
Thank you.
Great.
Thanks
Good
a
luck
lot.
with the
Thank you very much.
ICT teaching.
Thank you.
Wonderful.